That is wonderful. You know that Gita we say, Gita means singing, poetry. And who is singing it? Krishna. So when the Krishna is singing Gita, and to whom, for whom? So it is singing for all of us. It is singing for Krishna. There are a lot of noise, so I muted it whenever you have to ask the question, so you can unmute it. So Bhagavad Gita, it is known as Bhagavad Gita. So God is singing, Krishna is singing. Who is singing? And what it is singing? The wisdom, knowledge, truth, to live in the real self. So when the Krishna is singing, it means it is singing for me. It is singing for all of us. And Arjuna is just a medium. Just a medium to receive the knowledge. So why Krishna is singing for the human being? Because we can understand and change. We can understand and change. Why only for human being? Because we live at a higher level of self-awareness. No, we are not talking, comparing, and we don't have any ego with reference to it. Plants are also living beings. They stand at only one location and they don't have the intellect. So the animals. So we have a higher level of self-awareness and we have an intellect. And that intellect can understand. So here our self-inquiry through the intellect with viveka. Only the human race can have the viveka, no animal beings. So that is why he is passing on the knowledge to the Arjuna and through the Arjuna to all of us. Why? So that we can evolve to the highest level. And that Krishna says you can see it in the human race. So how to see it? One perspective is what is evolved in the human frame, human being. The body is fully evolved. The body with the 5 sense organs. Not any animal have the 5 sense organs. So it is an evil and it is an opportunity. Deer has only 1 sense organ that is strong. Elephant has another sense of touch. So these 5 sense organs can trap us. Sense of pleasure, sense of sight, sense of smell, and can help us evolve. They are the instruments of knowledge. So this body is fully evolved with the 5 sense organs. But who has to use it? If the intellect uses with viveka, we are free. And if the mind uses for pleasure outside, which is a desire, feeling a sense of incompleteness, we are bound. That makes us bound, limited, makes us doer and enjoyer, and we are trapped. How simple it is. Intellect versus the mind. Knowledge versus the behavior. I was just giving a lesson just before your session in Hindi to a couple. So that behavior in Hindi is known, in Sanskrit also, is known as swabhava. Swabhava, the two syllables. Swa means I am, bhava means emotion, feeling, thought, idea, character. Bhava. So when I add the bhava with the swa, it becomes behavior. What is my behavior towards my life, towards the journey, is clearly understood. I am limited. I am limited. Why I am limited? Because mind has trapped me with the knowledge that I receive from the sense organs to become the doer, enjoyer, seeking pleasure. You have clearly understood, and that I know you keep in your mind. Rati, trapti, tushti. How simple to understand, but only when you are a seeker. If you are not a seeker, forget about it. For then we cannot understand. So you see that body and the five senses are fully evolved and given to us by existence to find the new heights, not to remain at the level of Prakriti. That we do not understand. And what is that understanding? Understanding comes from the intellect. We are not ready to listen. So what is that listening? Listening is Shravanam. Shravanam comes from Satsang. So now I have a right knowledge. I can bring about a change in the behavior in the mind. I can bridge the gap between the knowledge and the behavior that I covered before. So fully evolved. Now question comes, okay, body is fully evolved, and the intellect, we have an independent intellect which can observe, which can choose, make a right choice, means Shreyas, and then it can move on the path of evolution. But why it doesn't happen? It does not happen because of the mind. The mind is still evolving. Mind has come from the animal kingdom. The mind is obsessed with the four instincts for safety, for security, safety and security, for sexual pleasure, for sleep, and the food. Compare it with Rati, Trapti, and Tushti. Animals do not understand. Tiger does not understand if they are living in the tropical zone where you have all the greeneries and the fruits and the river is flowing. Tiger has to find a prey. They want meat. We have a choice. We don't exercise a choice. Why? Mind, Rati, Trapti, Tushti. Why? Now why we are learning this? Because it blocks the intellect to learn and evolve. The intellect remains in the background. Why? Because the mind carries away. For the pleasure, to avoid the pleasure, we find $10 million will give me a security. Very good. Mind says this, yes. Ask the $1 million, will it give you a security? How long it will remain with you? Ask. By this understanding, Krishna will open up the secret of karma, the doership. So Krishna in this chapter is helping us to settle our intellect completely so that we can bring about a change in the mind step by step. Anything. I'm single, I feel insecure, I get married. How the honey can give me security? Any person in the world, anything in the world, I am attached for security, for fearlessness. Ask your mind, oh mind, please tell me whether an object, a person you are attached, have they given you a guarantee or a contract to give you security? And the answer is no. So evolution means I get rid of this attachment. Evolution simply means that now get me rid of this attachment and detachment. Let me find goal of my life is evolution. I learned from attachment, I learned from detachment. Now time is to say goodbye to attachment and detachment. That is known as vairagya, the dispassion. And that dispassion can only come by viveka. Now I'm attached to my honey. Let me do breathing practices. Can I get rid of attachment? I have to understand. No, I have to understand. No, I'm attached to money. I know that. What practice I should do? No, don't do, no practice. Understand it. If you are attached to the wealth, is the wealth attached to you? Only the knowledge will help you remove. In relationship, we always say, I love you so much. That is only an attachment. Nothing to do with, okay, you are attached with me, you love me so much, can you die for me? No, I have to think for it. I have to think for it. So when I think for it, that thinking comes from the mind. Now the mind says, this is pleasure, and I'm getting a security and a pleasure from this guy. That's why I claim that I love this guy. So I have to become a doer, and I have to become an enjoyer, and I continue my life with that fake, false, real self. That builds us the doer, that builds us the enjoyer in us, and it is all a play of Prakriti. I have learned from the Prakriti, I have learned from the attachment and detachment. Let me evolve to the next level. Then we are a seeker. Then we are a seeker. Then we are a seeker. So this chapter opens up another secret. So this chapter is known as knowledge, sannyas, karma, yoga. This chapter is known as knowledge, karma, sannyas, yoga. So Krishna says yoga is sannyasa. But whose sannyasa? It is the sannyas of karma. But the problem comes, we have studied in the 3rd chapter, no one can leave karma. Karma is life, life is karma. So why he is saying sannyasa of karma is yoga? I cannot leave life. I'm talking to you. This is karma. I'm seeing you. It is karma. I'm eating karma, sleeping karma. But now Krishna is saying sannyasa from the karma. Is Krishna crazy? Why he is opposing? No. Then question comes, how it is possible to have a sannyasa of karma, which is yoga. Can there be a sannyasa of karma? Think of it. And now, when we explain, when we understand what Krishna teaches Arjuna, we say, yes, it is 100% possible. At present, we feel it is not possible in our intellect. So, no one can do sannyasa of karma because we cannot live without karma. You see that how that is what I always say, it is an open secret to a seeker. Non-seeker, it is complete secret. So now Krishna goes and explains the sannyasa of karma is not possible at physical level. Now see that we are getting into Viveka. Body constantly moves, body is constantly changing, no doubt. It means sannyasa of karma cannot be possible at physical level. But it can happen at the level of the knowledge. It can only happen at the level of Viveka and knowledge. We can do sannyasa of karma by the knowledge. I think I am a doer, knowledge. Now I think I am not a doer. See, it opens up such a beautiful secret. Oh, this is so easy. No, it's not so easy. We are going to understand it clearly, and then we say, oh, it is so much easy. Knowledge means I am not the doer and the enjoyer. Body cannot say I am not the doer and enjoyer. Do you see the secret? Karma, sannyasa of karma cannot be possible at the physical level. Body is a matter. Matter is unconscious. It is inert. It does not know whether it is a doer and the enjoyer. I become the doer and the enjoyer in the mind for the sake of pleasure, for the sake of security. See the very subtle understanding. So knowledge means now the intellect is clear. I am not the doer, I am not the enjoyer. Sannyasa of karma is possible at the level of the knowledge. But there comes another question. Okay, I have understood it is, but who wants sannyasa of karma? Answer yourself. Who wants sannyasa of karma? Intellect must ask the question, the right question, and to get the right answer. So I have understood karma is not, sannyasa of karma is not possible at the physical level. I understood it is possible at the level of a knowledge. What is knowledge is intellect. Intellect is knowledge. Knowledge is intellect. What intellect gives me? Knowledge. Who is Taurus? Taurus is Taurus and a husband and a businessman. Same thing. Intellect is knowledge. Knowledge is intellect. So who wants sannyasa of karma? If I perform a particular action, I get the result. Sometime I get the result instantly. Sometime I get the result in the next birth. Sometime I get the result after 10 sessions I complete. I send you the invoice. You see that sometime I get the result instantly. Sometime I get the result after some time. And sometime I get the result in the near future or next birth. Another problem is there. Without body, I cannot enjoy the fruits of my karma. Body has to enjoy. But we do not know how many bodies we have in the past, how many bodies we will take in the future. We are in ignorance. You see, another great problem, Taras. Very biggest challenge we have to solve. You go to a friend, or a stranger meets you. And stranger asks you, oh, who you are, what you do, and if you say, I do nothing, because internally you realize I'm not a doer and enjoyer, you say, I do nothing. What he will say? Oh, he is totally lazy, he is not doing anything. Our recognition, our prestige in the society is recognized by what we do. See that? So there are a lot of challenges. Krishna is going to solve everything. But we are raising a problem so that we keep in our mind everything in the world is recognized by karma. What I do. So you see on the Facebook, my team members say mentor, coach, speaker. I said, do whatever you want to do. But don't do something nasty. But do whatever you do. Because the society, people, the world recognizes you, what you do. And here we want to destroy what we do. It's a big question. It's a question of our survival. And we don't want to take any action when it challenges my survival. We have to solve this puzzle. You see, what is the conclusion? Because internally, since our birth, our education, our activities in the world, when we become mature, everything is recognized by karma in the society. I may be understanding at the level of the intellect that I have to evolve. I may be understanding that there is no sannyasa of karma at the physical level is possible. I have already understood that the sannyasa of karma is possible at the level of the knowledge that I am not the doer. But what should I do? With that recognition, its past impression is so deep in me. Do you see a gap between knowledge and behavior? Behavior says, I am a businessman. Knowledge says, you are none of them. Behavior says, I am a businessman, so that I should behave like this. Knowledge says, you are none of them. How to solve this puzzle? So the verses, once we understand those verses, then now, can I destroy my identification? But before that, why this identification is there? That identification is there because I feel I am an individual. Individual, then recognition, then karma, then what I do, how I do it. So if we understand who is this individual in you, who is this individual in you, then we can definitely solve this puzzle. That individual wants a recognition in the society, has been doing the karma, and that individual says I'm a businessman, that individual says I'm a mentor and guide, that individual says I live like this, that individual says that I possess all those things. Who is this individual? One thing is clear, it is not real self. So that individual becomes the doer, that gets the recognition. That, who is this individual? In Eastern wisdom, we say this individual is a jiva, individual consciousness. Individual consciousness is a human being. But the real self is independent of the individual consciousness. Why? The real self is all pervading. We have already understood. It is a pure consciousness. Puzzle we are solving. So what is this individual consciousness? People normally talk of soul, individual soul. We are talking of real self. So now you will be very clear about soul and the real self. You can understand, even if you study Christianity or Islam and other things, we say no soul, we are Atma is real self. So this soul is individual soul. We talk of individual soul. We never say individual real self. We never say individual real self. We say individual soul. So that is known as jiva. What is this individual self? What is this individual consciousness? Mind has borrowed consciousness. Then mind made the body servant. Then the mind identified that I am the body. Then this mind is seeking the pleasure outside. All together is individual soul. That is why, as an individual, I am seeking recognition. Why? I claim that I am the body. Because of the body, I say I am a businessman. I am a mentor, I am a guide. Are you understanding that? Not very subtle. It's easy to pick up. Oh, so individual is one entity, real self is another entity. And if I live in that knowledge that I am not a doer and the enjoyer, then what happens? It is at the level of the knowledge. Let the individual soul remain as it is. When you are going as a businessman for a business project, yes, I am a businessman. Let us sit and talk. How much money you give to me in this project? But internally, at the level of the knowledge, I am not a doer and enjoyer. I am concluding the verse, but once we go very deep into the verse, we will find out that it is 100% possible to live at the individual level for others and also to live at the level of the real self for myself. Why for myself? Because there is nothing except myself. Why? The real self is all pervading. It is pure consciousness. It is pure consciousness. So now come back to the same theme of the chapter. Sannyasa means dropping body identification by knowledge. Did you get it? Sannyasa means dropping the identification with the body by knowledge. Sannyasa, a body identification, let me drop it by knowledge. I have to drop where I am bound, where I have created a bondage. I have to find a solution. So where the problem is, I have to find a solution there. So I am recognized as a businessman. Is it a bondage? Yes. So let me drop that bondage through the knowledge. I created that bondage by a wrong notion for myself. I become an individual. I'm recognized as a businessman. I'm recognized as a mentor or a teacher or an entrepreneur, whatever it is. So because I have a bondage, that's why I'm suffering. As long as the bondage is there is pain and suffering. So my wrong, false perception has created this bondage. And I feel I am a billionaire, my dearest friend, $127 billion, and still I am suffering. Now look at it. Individual consciousness and the real self. He is not aware of the real self. He is aware of the individual soul. He is the richest. Then another part of the individual soul, I lived loveless life. Third part of the individual soul or individual self, now I am seeking pleasure, happiness from someone else. So I continue my journey in this birth, next birth, bondage, dependence, bondage, dependence. So means what? I am in bondage, individual soul. I am free, real self. Individual self. So now there are 4 and 5 verses. Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjita jnana agni dagdha karmanam. That is the most important word in this verse. So what it says, Gyan Agni Dagdha Karmanam. Gyan Agni. Gyan Agni means fire of knowledge. Fire of knowledge. I live in extraordinary awareness all the time. And intellect is knowledge. Fire of knowledge. Knowledge is intellect, intellect is knowledge. We can just easily understand that. So what happens? First, fire of knowledge. When I use this fire of knowledge, tamahu panditam buddha. First thing, you use the fire of knowledge. Krishna says you are wise. You are not only a seeker, you have reached to the next state of your evolution. Fire of knowledge. Jnanagni dagdha karmanam tam ahu panditam Buddha. Pandit means, Pandit is also taken from the Sanskrit in English language. He is a Pandit of marketing. Sometimes we say, so that Pandit, he is a wise. He is not only a seeker, but now he is entering into the very process of evolution. Seeker is wise. So now we will pick up the verse the first line of the Yasya Sarvai Samarambha Kama Sankalpa Varjita. Seeker is wise. Wise comes from the intellect. He has a clarity. He classified. When he is able to classify the wrong with the right, he lives in viveka. Wise seeker is wise whose karma is free from desire and sankalpa. Whose karma, whose action as an individual, okay, I'm a businessman, but internally free from kama sankalpa vivarjita. Kam means desire, sankalpa. We will understand what is the meaning of sankalpa. Normally, so first thing, the two things, kama sankalpa varjita. Normally we can say the sankalpa, the word means nothingness and a void inside. Karma is done by the body, senses, mind, intellect and ego. All are matters, so they are not conscious. Cause of the karma are present in the body, senses, mind, intellect and three gunas. Cause, reason of every action at this moment, also as you as a listener, I as a speaker is present in the body, senses, mind, intellect and the ego. Plus three gunas. That part we have understood, but we have to understood what is this sankalpa. I see you, and then I have an urge to speak. That is sankalpa. You go to a business meeting and you have an urge to speak, but in that speaking, desire is working behind. So first we have a sankalpa and then we have a desire. Again understand the sankalpa. Sankalpa takes birth when we see any object, person, thing, event outside through the sense organ. Mind is behind it. Mind is behind. And the mind goes through these five sense organs, looks at an object. By default, it creates a liking and disliking. Then we have a resolve. We feel it, we see it, we feel it, and there comes a natural urge to own, to possess. Sankalpa is there. And from the sankalpa, the desire takes birth. And we forget, now I'm going to become a doer and enjoyer. We miss the whole point. Seeker is free from sankalpa and the desire. Absence of sankalpa means absence of desire. So we are moving a step deeper. Desire we have understood. But how the desire takes birth? Because of sankalpa. When there is an absence of sankalpa, when there is a absence of desire, then fire of the knowledge is natural in the intellect. Then I am not a thinker, I am not a doer, and I am not the enjoyer. Then individual consciousness remains good for the society and the world. I remain as a non-doer and enjoyer. Another way to understand, When sankalpa is there, then the mind has a thought to own it, to possess it, to enjoy it. So when you have a thought to own, to possess and enjoy, you have already become an individual consciousness that has to become a doer and the enjoyer, and the doer and enjoyer is always looking for a rati, tripti, tushti. Understand another point. Everything is okay, I have understood. My intellect says I have understood. Rati, tripti, tishtiti, sankalpa, desire. But why all this? Mind says I will be happy. I become an individual consciousness. I forgot the real self. Did you get it? That is why I discussed about the individual consciousness before. But why I become the individual consciousness? Because I am living in avidya, ignorance. Ignorance is the cause. That much entire process we have to separate in the intellect, step by step at a subtler level, with the fire of knowledge, to drop being a doer and the enjoyer. I cannot drop any karma at the physical level. I should not start thinking wrongly. That is how I can do sannyasa of karma. And it is possible. 100% it is possible. It is possible. When you play with your small young daughter, you say, "Here I bought a plane for you." It is not a plane, it is a toy. But you say, "I bought a plane for you." You are not attached. You simply play. But outwardly you are so serious. Yes, it is a plane. And she also enjoys it. Yes, it is a business meeting. Done. You are creative, you are open, you are in peace, you do the things, your mind is clear, you get many creative ideas. We are going to solve that problem also, the question that you asked, when that verse will come and it will blow your mind. Oh, how easy it is. But yes, we have to live into that state. Another point to be understood, the root of this karma is not real self. Always remember this. Real self is pure consciousness. It is all pervading. It never changes. What changes? Then karma is possible. If it does not change, it is all pervading. The real self has nothing to do with any karma. It has to do with the individual consciousness. It has to do with individual consciousness. And that individual consciousness is coming from the body, breath, sense organ, mind, intellect and ego, plus desire, projection of happiness and sankalpa, etc., etc. Because it is so much, we are so much unconscious. Why? Because that karma gives me a recognition. Without karma, there is no recognition. You go to anyone and what you do, I do nothing. Oh, then don't talk to me if you do nothing. You are a useless guy. We are a useless guy. So that is why the fire of knowledge destroys all the karma. Do all karma. But destroy the doership in every karma. Do you think Bill Gates is not intelligent? He's a genius. Not everyone is intelligent at that level to destroy the doership. So we need a different kind of an intellect. Intellect with viveka to separate. What is the role of the intellect? It observes, it analyzes, it knows, it has a power to analyze, it has a power to live in that awareness. What is that awareness? Awareness with a thought coming from the mind that you are my enemy, or awareness of a thought in the intellect that you are my friend. Viveka chooses. Viveka separates. You can simply say intellect is knowledge and knowledge is intellect, provided Viveka is there. So what is the role, capacity, power of intellect? To discern, to separate, to clarify. What is clarity and understanding? You see a simple clarity. I always give an example. That is neighbor's house, this is my house. So clarity means classifying. Clarity means separating. We are clear. You are sitting there, I am sitting here. It is very clear. I am speaking, you are listening. You see that Viveka is always at work. We cannot say that, that this Viveka is a very special. We have given a specific name for clarity and understanding. So I am using the Viveka, that is neighbor's house, this is my house, that is kitchen, that is restroom, that is you, that is me. But here the Viveka we have to do of Shreyas and Prayas. That is already gone because I am a seeker, I understand that. So what kind of a Viveka is required? The real self and the individual consciousness. Individual consciousness is the doer and the enjoyer, and the real self has nothing to do with it. So I have, in the fire of the knowledge, I remember all that, I live into that awareness. I'm done. But that is only the first verse. We have 5 verses that will make everything clear. So we are not. Now ask yourself, what is the best use of the intellect? Moksha. I should use the Viveka for wealth, for pleasure. It's okay, individual consciousness, but the highest use is moksha, awakening, realization, transformation. It is the greatest weapon. Otherwise, the problem will remain. We have to use buddhi, we have to use the intellect in karma. Okay, we are using, so what will happen? I'm reminding you, what will happen? 24/7. What? 24/7? Seer and the seen are different. Ignorance is gone. What is this? Everything I know, see, feel, perceive comes under the category of seen. Second point, the seen can never be me because the seer and the seen are always separate and different. What is that seer? Seer is the knower. Knower is I am. That I am is real self. I'm making it simple. And whatever is seen, known, experienced, felt is not me, because seer and the seen are always different. That is the fire of knowledge. Seer is only one, the seen are many. Do you remember? But why we bring this principle here? Why we bring the principle here? I know my home. Home is separate from me. I know you. You are separate from me. I know my thoughts. Thoughts are separate from me. I know my home is separate from me. I know the neighbors is separate from me. I know my food is separate from me. Or is it clear that seer and the seen are always different? That seer is knower, is I am, is real self. It is not separate from me. Clear? So now you pay attention that whatever I know, feel, perceive is not me. Do you feel you are a doer? Yes, I know it. I cannot be this doer because I know it. Whatever is seen, known cannot be me. Do you see that? I'm enjoying. I know I'm enjoying. That is known, that is seen. Oh, that is seen. And seen is different from the seer. This is the fire of knowledge. Did you understand that? In the beginning, you have been saying what I have to do, how I have to do. I'm doing a business. I am doing a business, you know it. That is known. That is seen. Seen is different from the seer. The seer is the knower. Knower is I am. I am the real self. Finished. Do everything. Enjoy everything. Fire of knowledge. So we are bringing this fire of knowledge. Seer is always separate from seen. First thing. So whatever I know, I feel, I experience is in the field of seen. Even when I say I am the doer, I know it. You are getting it now. Yes, that is the time has come. I'm doing it. I'm the doer. Yes, I know it. Known. I'm the knower. I'm enjoyer. Yes, I know it. You are known. I'm the knower. That proves when I say I'm the doer and the enjoyer is fake, false, wrong notion, individual consciousness cannot be me. I am the knower seer. So what is the fun of not doing karma and what is the fun of doing all the karma? Provided we follow the shreyas and prayas. It doesn't mean that let me kill someone, I am not the killer. That should not work. That is why we say purify the mind. Be very clear. Do you have any question? Did you get it clear? Unmute it. And do you see?
So, Yeah, on the first view it's clear, but now it's have to be applied in the daily
It
life.
has to be. So, you see what happens, my friend, the moment mind says, I am the doer, I forget the real self. Forgetfulness
Yeah, I
is
see.
ignorance. Ignorance causes the suffering. Then you have a question, should I do my business or should I not do my business? You should be doing it. Janaka lived like a king. He did everything. Yajnavalkya was the richest monk in the history. He had a big mansion. Now we say that he has a beach house. He had 2 wives. Lot of things. And that Yajnavalkya is known as one of the greatest masters. You see, it blows my mind when I know that I am the doer. I know that I am the doer. It is in the field of known and seen. Do you see? It is a false identification. So Krishna goes step, but this is only the first verse in this. So there is last point that we should understand, and then what is truth? Truth is real self. So last point that we should consider here in awakening to the fire of knowledge. What is that last point? Truth can never change. Truth is Sat Chit Anand. Sat Chit Anand cannot be falsified. But I am the doer can easily be falsified. That's another. So it is difficult to apply in life? No. What can be falsified is easiest. That's what I'm bringing that principle here. What can be falsified? How? I am the doer. Do I know that I am the doer? Do I experience that I am the doer? Yes. That is in the field of known. That is not in the field of knower. Seer and the seen are always different, will remain different, will remain separate. Means what? All my action, all my karma, along with its desire and the feeling, belongs in the field of known. So apply these in 2 or 3 days. When we will meet, we will pick up another sutra.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.